owns a golf course, you should be playing.
I should, but I don't. Occasionally I'll go out to the driving range and hit some balls.
I play there all the time. They have a nice course, the 12 hole, and
Oh,
then it gives you a chance to play 18
oh
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
want to.
it's really beautiful.
You know what? It's very well kept because water has it.
Yeah, it is well
So,
kept, considering how bad it got when it was abandoned. I mean, the course there.
the breakfast is not bad. In fact, I used to play Wednesday afternoon, twilight, but I got something doing.
Good evening, I'd like to call the regularly scheduled planning commission meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance, please. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kier,
Here.
Commissioner Garcia,
Here.
Commissioner Pahana,
Here.
Vice Chair Walker.
Here.
Let the record show that Chair Krushat has an excused absence.
Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on the City of 29 Palms website at www.29palms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going to the city's website and clicking on the meeting's agenda link. Public comments. This is the time for the public to address the Planning Commission on issues within the jurisdiction of the commission that are not on the printed agenda. All comments are to be directed to the chair of the commission and shall not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional and courteous decorum during their comments. There is a time limitation of 3 minutes per person. If you have not done so already, please fill out a name and address slip and give it to the Planning Commission secretary. The Planning Commission is prohibited by the Brown Act, state law, from taking action or discussing at length items not included on the printed agenda. Public comments on specific items will be deferred until the consideration of that agenda item. We have one public comment. Vino.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Thank you, Planning Commissioners. My name is Vino Nathraj, and I stand to be corrected in the event I am wrong. I learned that the City Council had granted a $1 million grant to the developer who's developing the land next to City Council to put in 99 units. That land is not properly zoned. I thought it was Planning Commissioner's responsibility to help the City Council in advising them on these projects. And I believe that you all were the first step, that when a project comes to you, the first thing you should be doing is saying, does it meet zoning? Does it conform with the neighborhood? A 3-story building, even a 2-story building, does not conform with the neighborhood. I checked on the zoning with staff. For every acre, the maximum you can do is 20 units, and it's a 3-point-something acres. And basically, to my knowledge, that'll give you about 65 units. So we, in fact, gave this developer a $1 million grant based on 99 units. How would you help to get this $1 million grant revised? Because I believe the developer is now doing 62 or 65 units and doing a 2-story, and in my opinion, it's not conforming to the neighborhood. Thank you for listening to me, and I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong in any of my things. Thank you.
Thank you, Vino. Next, commissioners' comments and meetings attended. Start at this end.
Did not attend any meetings.
I have not attended any other meetings besides our last. I did watch the the recorded version of our last city council meeting.
I did not attend any meetings since our last meeting.
I have not attended any meetings since our last meeting either. Moving on to the consent calendar. We have one item on the consent calendar. Do we have a motion and a second? Has anybody had time to review the minutes from last meeting?
Yes.
I motion that we approve the meeting notes as written.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Kier,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Pahana,
Aye.
Vice Chair Walker.
Aye.
Approved.
There are no items removed from the consent calendar. There are no public hearings this evening. There will be a study session after the development director updates. And at the end of the development director updates is when the live stream will end and we'll move into the study session for the homeless committee. There's no discussion for potential action items. So moving on to development director updates.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just as a quick explanation as to the brevity of today's agenda. Whenever we have the Planning Commission is part of the Homeless Committee. So whenever we have a meeting of the Homeless Committee, by de facto, there's members of the Planning Commission there. So in order to avoid any sort of appearance of Brown Act issues, we want to have a Planning Commission agenda. Even though it may be very brief, it's noticed that the Planning Commission is also going to be meeting. Earlier this month, I thought we could use this day to finish up any unfinished business from a couple of weeks ago. If that meeting happened to run long, ended up we didn't have that meeting anyway because there was no quorum, so we had to cancel it. So anything that was on a prior agenda will have to be re-advertised for a future date. So I just wanted to give an explanation to the commission and to the public as to why the commission is abnormally brief today. We will be having some heavy agendas here in the near future, so just letting you know.
Can I ask when the next meeting is?
Yes, thank you very much. So the next regularly scheduled meeting is going to be September the 19th. And that's my report.
Okay. Okay, so I guess we will move on to the homeless committee meeting. And this